Good morning, happy Monday. Welcome back to a new weekly vlog. So this week I am starting with my university program again. Obviously I'm at home, so I'll be teaching myself all this work, which is kind of daunting, I will not lie, but we can do it. I also thought I would quickly pop in and give you kind of the idea of how I want the reading for this week to go. The first book that I'll be reading is A Feast of Phantoms by Kat Ross. I was supposed to start this yesterday, but I didn't get the chance to because honestly, I was busy doing other things. In the next couple of books are kind of books that I want to get to as soon as possible. Some of them are actually on my TBR for the month, and the rest are just books that I would very much like to read. So the first book, which I actually am going to be using for mermaid linguistics, is My Dark Vanessa, because this falls in the prompt for herbology, which is Mimulus Mimatonia, which is a book that's starting with an M. And then to continue with my buddy read with Sandra, we're hoping to start Air of Fire this week. And then the last two books are the last two books on my TBR. I said last week that Master of Sorrows and Chain of Gold were my last two books. That was a lie. So the last two actual books on my TBR are obviously Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare and The Fountains of Silence by Rita Sepetys. So in terms of Chain of Gold, I actually need to read this in 24 hours in a day. I am going to leave this for Friday, I think, just because I will then have all the time in the world. But obviously, as I said, the first book I'll be reading, Feast of Phantoms, because I do have a blog tour for this tomorrow, so I need to read this today amongst the work that I have to do for university. Hi, hello. So today is Tuesday. I have a blog tour for A Feast of Phantoms today, and I have not yet read the book, so today's goals are basically going to be to read that, because yesterday, I finished watching season 2, part 1, part 2, that it is on Netflix here in South Africa, the whole day. Beautiful series. It's such a feel-good series. I was honestly fangirling half the time and dying and everything, so if you haven't watched Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir, well, wasting your time, you need to watch it. Regardless of age, you should watch it. It is so good. So I did that yesterday, the whole day basically, after I did my uni work. But today I need to read, so I'm gonna read, and then I have quite a bit of uni work to do, I would say. Not a lot, but like it's just I'm slowly increasing my workload so that I can get to the point where I'm just working. Not like all the time, but at least like 3 hours worth of work a day. This is honestly one of my favorite things about being at home. Look at him. Too cute. Alright, so I thought I'd quickly update you on how my reading in A Feast of Phantoms is going. I'm about 25% in, which is 61 pages so far. I'm really enjoying it. I'm so confused. I actually need to check out when my blog tour post is supposed to be up, because on my things it says the 22nd, and in my brain I think 21. Either way, I have to read it today. I'm gonna read it today. I'm gonna finish it today so that I can get into My Dark Vanessa, which is the next one that I want to read. And I think this is such a nice break, especially because I read such a chunker last week of Master of Sorrows. So to get into A Feast of Phantoms, which is going quite quickly, the writing is quite easy to get into, the world is quite interesting. Hi, so I thought I'd quickly pop in and give you a bit of an update. It is 8:30. Ooh, I actually should go downstairs, the sauna is starting. But I have finished A Feast of Phantoms. My review is for tomorrow, but I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really solid 4-star read. Quite an interesting world. Once again, like such an intricate magical system, which I really enjoyed. You learned as you went. It's quite easy to grasp. And I love the fact that it's based on linguistics in a way. Not like in a strong, like prominent, like in your face linguistics kind of way, but it's quite like, in order to communicate with these magical beings, you have to speak a language, and the people are called linguists because, you know, languages and stuff. I definitely liked how we had a really strong female character. I did find that I really struggled to visualize the characters. Sometimes I could see them, other times not so much. I don't think there was enough descriptions in terms of that. But otherwise, the world is quite lush, quite interesting. Really did enjoy the frontier setting of it all. I thought it's one of my favorite settings, and it's a setting that I don't read a lot about or of, for no real apparent reason, but I really did enjoy it. I thought it was a really great solid first book. I'm really excited for the second one, which is coming out in December, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. The next thing that I would have to read, well, not that I have to read, but that I would really like to read, is My Dark Vanessa. Good morning. I hope that you are doing well. It is Wednesday. We had a sauna last night, and basically the president was just reintroducing how we can increase and slowly get our economy back to where it was, but also creating a new kind of economy. He hopes that this this crisis will give us the opportunity to rework our economy, because a lot of our economy and a lot of our income and everything is based on manual labor, and that sector is definitely the most impacted. So I think he wants to try and reform it a little bit. I am starting My Dark Vanessa today. This is by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I have started it, I'm 10 pages in, and it's definitely interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes, because at this point in time Vanessa is siding with the teacher at this point in time. Hi, so I thought I'd quickly give you a bit of a reading update. I'm 100 pages into this, and oh my goodness, it is intense. This is such a rough, it's crazy how much grooming is happening at the moment, because we're getting a lot of the past, and then every now and then we'll get a chapter in the future, or actually the chapter in the past would be more lengthy, because it's, we're kind of learning about the relationship between Vanessa and Strain, her lecturer, her teacher, not a lecturer, her teacher, and it is crazy. Currently kind of late. It is almost 5:30. I need to go downstairs because I haven't unpacked the dishwasher yet, and I have to, and I also need to feed the dogs. But I thought I'd give you my update on My Dark Vanessa. So I am currently on page 227. I'm quite a ways then. I'm pretty much 2/3, I believe. That's what I would say, all the way into My Dark Vanessa. Things are definitely, I don't know, they're getting quite speculative in the sense that we kind of see Vanessa starting to really think about what her relationship was like with her teacher, both in what would be present day 2017 and the past, which is 2001 at this stage. So we're kind of really seeing her kind of reflecting a little bit more on her relationship instead of just accepting what it was. And it's horrible. It is no, it's a good book, but I mean, it is horrible the way she's been groomed to think that she needs to defend him, and he does this by manipulating her and instilling a fear that her life will be compromised as much as his. The way he does it as if to say that she'll never be able to move on from this, and the way he has kind of but manipulated her and her experiences on love is insane. I have about 143 pages left to read of this. I do intend to still finish this tonight. Hi, so I have just finished gaming for the evening, so I'm planning on just reading. So I'm really excited to see how this book ends, just because at this point in time we haven't really gotten to a point where her current self is really deciding what to do. We're still kind of seeing her think that the teacher isn't really an abuser, so I'm really intrigued to see how this one ends. So my hair is super poofy, and I didn't realize how poofy, but anyways, I digress. I just wanted to update you on My Dark Vanessa. I finished it last night, quite late in the evening, around midnight. I don't really think it's a book that you enjoy, but this book was incredible. I think it really does approach the topic of coming forward on certain things quite well. I think that it really brings a different kind of perspective, and it asks all the important questions, leaving also the reader thinking that perhaps, some movements are worth joining, and others, sometimes you have to think more about yourself than others. And honestly, this book was so difficult to read most times, and I think it really does talk about trauma staying with you. I haven't really read a book that talks about this topic the way this one does. I've read several talking about the Me Too movement, or at least contributing some fiction, some literary fiction to it, and none of them really grapple the question as much as this one does. And I really liked how, I wouldn't say liked, but I really appreciated the way trauma is presented. It wasn't something that could be overcome in the sense of it's done and dusted. It's something that's an ongoing thing, and I really thought that was a really strong point. I rated it 5 stars. Do be careful when going in. It is quite graphic, and it does feature sexual assault as the main theme of the book, so I would be wary when going into this. Figured now that that's done, I want to kind of show you my plants. I'm slowly growing my plants like collection. Currently trying to propagate one plant. I've already propagated something else, so I'm going to show you kind of the plants that I have. We'll start with the ones I've had for a while, like Max and Leanne and Swiss cheese. So let me show you. This is Swiss cheese. It's actually the common name of the Monstera, and as you can see, like, it's just got holes. This is a new leaf, obviously not too new because we already have another one growing out of here. So this is the new leaf. I don't think it has holes as of yet, but he is so happy. I might have to replant him at some point, but so far he looks pretty happy to me. I'm concerned about this one just because of how it's positioned, but we'll get to that. This is Leanne. She is a peace lily, which she just grows and she's constantly blooming. So these are what her flowers look like, these little white ones. So there's another one, and here one is growing out. So she's also really happy. She usually tells me when my plants are thirsty because she'll be the first one to kind of indicate that she's thirsty by drooping her leaves, whereas Swiss doesn't really show much. And then this is Maximus. I called him Maximus because of how huge he was when I got him, and he is growing. So this is there's a new leaf coming from there, and these strands have been growing like crazy. Originally, like, it was just barely past, so this is about like 20-ish centimeters of growth, and we even have some growth over here. This side is a little bit bare, but as you can see, we've still got some growth happening. These are my two new babies. So this is a garlic. I want to grow one, and as you can see, I kind of broke the stem, but it is kind of growing again. So there's that. And then this is I think it's an Indian Bayan, and I'm trying to propagate it, so I just cut the leaf today, and roots should be growing over the next couple of days from there. So we're hoping that it grows. But yeah, I'm just so impressed. I propagated this garlic all by myself, which is quite something. I'm so impressed with myself, like, honestly. You can see I'm slowly turning into a plant mom. But anyways, so I really haven't given you an update today because I have come to the conclusion that I'm just gonna take a break from reading today. Tomorrow I plan on completely reading Chain of Gold in one day, and literally when I wake up tomorrow I'm gonna put up a 24-hour like stopwatch on my phone, so I can have it literally 24 hours to read this. It is totally manageable to read this in 24 hours because of how I know I read, but I haven't read a Cassandra Clare book in so long, so I'm high-key nervous. And because of that, and especially because today I was kind of saying like, I don't know what to read, and I know that the books I have left, like, that I really want to get to right now this week, are books that I can't read in a day, or that I don't want to read in a day because I really want to savor them. So I'm just taking a break today, doing what I need to do, some uni work, some spending time with my mom and stuff. So that tomorrow I am all prepared to jump into Chain of Gold. I am currently looking at reading the Mortal Instruments or the Shadowhunter world in chronological order on the Shadowhunter website. I'll have it linked down below. You can actually see the chronological order of the events in these books. Good morning. Am I looking a little chaotic? Perhaps. I also look dead tired, but last night you saw a clip. Basically, I was in the book launch, the Zoom book launch for The Astonishing Life of August March by Erin Jackson, who is a debut author, and I haven't read really much into it. I started it last night before the Zoom because I was like, I'd like some of an idea of what's going on, so I only got like 14 pages in, and so far it's really good. For a debut, the writing is really great. I'm really intrigued to see how the story will unfold. I don't know much about it other than the fact that August March is born in a theatre, and he's kind of brought up by a chosen family, which is very rare because often, you know, you don't get to choose your family, and he does. So I'm really intrigued to see how this plays in. Obviously, I've already started tapping it. The green is for funny moments because I feel like that just is appropriate, and this book is going to be hilarious. It's a coming of age story as well, I believe, so it's going to be very, very interesting. And beyond that, Erin Jackson is just such a nice person, so I'm really intrigued to see how this will all unfold. I'm about to start my timer in like a couple of minutes. I just want to get like ready, but the book that I'll be conquering today is Chain of Gold. So once I start the timer, I have 24 hours to read this book. I didn't want to be like throughout the whole day right now because I have a busy morning. I tend to have a lot of things happening, and then later on today I actually have to go and do some buying of things, but I'm really excited for this. I'm nervous as heck, but you know what? I can do it. I look really childish because I decided to put my hair in a plaid, but I thought I'd quickly update you. I am 53 pages into Chain of Gold and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's quite fun and great. I really like being back with some familiar people and some new people, and I really like the setting of, you know, London in the early 1900s, late 1800s. And I love it. I'm really enjoying being back in this world, and it's so great. I am not a fan of the mortal instruments, but I love the infernal devices. So just having their kids essentially, and I'm so excited. I am reading this a little bit prematurely in the sense of I am planning on rereading or like reading the Shadowhunter world in chronological order. There's like a site, I'll leave it linked down below, where you can actually see the publication order and the actual chronological order of the events of the stories. This is what I already have sticky tabs, so I can really tell you the blue is important things or things that I believe that will be important. Green is funny, and then yellow, of which there are like 3 in here, is scenes that I like. Hi, so we're about 2 hours into my little thing, and I've read up until page 100 and I'm really loving it. I'm currently taking a break because we're having lunch and I'm probably gonna watch something with my mom, but I'm really loving this. It's so great to be back with my faves in a historical setting. So now, because of this, because I'm really finding myself like enjoying this book, I'm really contemplating how much of Cassandra Clare's new stuff I will enjoy, because I think that the first 3 books of the TMI were just too old, in the sense like that was like her first couple of books and they were not that great. But I am loving this so much. I mean, look at those tabs. I'm having a great time, as you can tell. Hi, so it's a long time later, and I thought I'd just quickly update you. I haven't read much. I still have like 500 pages left to go of Chain of Gold that I'm gonna read now, but I thought I just wanted to let you know that I got myself some sticky tabs. So these are paper ones. They're not the best in terms of the fact that I prefer the more plastic ones because they see through, but there are so many in here. There are 280 sheets across 7 pads, which is quite a lot, and the last set actually lasted me so long, so I bought 4 of them, and this is what I'm hoping to tab Arrow Fire with. But for now, so I figured that right now is a good time to kind of update you and stuff. But before I update you on Chain of Gold, I'm just gonna quickly talk about the owls. So obviously I've already finished for my career. I have achieved my owls for becoming a magizoologist, which I'm happy about. I also finished the Mermaid Linguistics seminar, and I read My Dark Vanessa for that. But the next like seminar class that I'm going to be doing is the Animagus training. Oh my gosh, and there are 3 owls that you have to take for it. So it's Arithmancy, Potions, and Transfiguration. So this I set up a little bit differently. I have, because there are 3 exams for one seminar class, I broke up the exams into 1, 2, and 3. So groundbreaking, yeah. And for that, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to be doing for each one. So the exam Arithmancy is magical qualities of number 2, balance and opposites, which is to read something outside of your favorite genre. So my favorite genre is fantasy, and a genre that I don't read a lot of is like fiction, like full-on normal plain old fiction. I don't read it often enough because I tend not to gravitate towards that. So fiction for me is adult fiction, not YA fiction, because I gravitate to that as well, more so than adult fiction. And it is also not like thrillers and exoteric, because I categorize those differently, but instead it's stories like The Astonishing Life of August March, which is like a coming of age story and it's just like detailing the lives of a fictional character. So Potions, which is obviously Shrinking Solution, and that is to read a book under 150 pages. So the one is Heart of Darkness by, I want to say, Joseph Conrad, and I read that for my English class, and this sort of also have worked for a genre that I don't gravitate towards because it's a classic and I don't read classics. And then the last prompt, or the last exam that I have to take, is Transfiguration, which is to read a Magnus lecture, and that is to read a book with shapeshifting. And for that I'm choosing Chain of Gold because obviously we have werewolves mentioned in here. It is not a prominent thing. That's kind of what I'm going to be doing to get my Annie Magnus training, which I'm excited for. It's not a lot. It's books that I'm currently reading, and I don't think it's like overly ambitious. Maybe, well, I'm reading this right now, which brings me to the update of this. I am 150 pages into this right now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really keen to continue reading. I don't have much longer of this. I think I have like something like 16, maybe 15 hours left. I'm almost at a clock right now, and I have just read a little bit more of Chain of Gold. I'm on page 211 at the moment. The next stretch is going to be a bit longer because the break is basically only on to page 270 something, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's such a fun book. I just want to say, I don't like Grace. I think she's a hoe, and I'm not a fan of her, and she is stealing James, and we don't appreciate, okay? I have a ship in mind because I've seen everything, but I don't know how it happens, and if it happens, or if it's just like a little moment, and I want it to happen. I need it to happen, and then I do not like Grace, okay? I think she's manipulative, and I think she has something like a power or whatever, and this is my theory, and I have no one to tell it to, so, not a fan, okay? I am not a fan of her. She needs to leave. Hi, so I thought I'd just quickly pop in for one last update this evening. I'm on page 276, which is almost halfway. Not quite there just yet, but that's fine. The next stretch is to get to page 300, but I'm going to head to bed. It is quite late. I didn't realize that it was almost 12 o'clock. This evening just flew by like crazy. I'm gonna just take the time to go to bed, sleep, wake up fresh, hopefully nice and early, and then finish this off. I actually am really loving this. I'm really happy with this progress. Rough, I won't lie. My French is just not, it's not doing anything for me right now, but I thought I would quickly pop in to let you know that I am about halfway through with Chain of Gold right now. I still have about 3.5 hours left. I am really hoping to read the last about 200 pages in the next 3 hours, so I'm just going to be hunkering down and reading as much of it as possible and just trying to finish it off. So far, I'm still loving it. I mean, the comparison, the fact that you can see where I've read and where I haven't, is just, it amazes me. I'm really loving this so far. I just love being back in this world. It brings me the utmost joy. So this will probably be the last update before I finish the book. I am on page 467, which kind of leaves me with 130-ish pages left to read, probably more, 120, and I'm so excited for the end of it. It is so good so far. If I had to rate it now, a 4.5 would be ideal. Obviously a lot can happen that can change my mind into a higher rating. I think I'll go less than that unless something like really tragic happens. So I thought I'd quickly pop it and let you know I have finished Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. It is such a great start to the series. If you haven't picked it up, you should. I gave it 4.75 stars just because I did feel as though some parts were getting a bit on the lengthier side of things, but it was still a pretty good book. So now that I'm officially done with this, I am gonna get ready for the day because so much to do, man, so much to do. I'm so happy that I managed to finish this. I'm gonna give myself a bit of a break before I jump into another book, just because this was a heavy read. My attention was stolen throughout. I mean, like, look at those tabs. It was such a great read. I highly stand this book. Right, so I thought I'd quickly just update you. I've done a couple of things since we've last chatted. The first kind of just being updating my reading journal. My thing is looking so cute. I've read so many books, which I'm honestly surprised by, but also not, because I don't have anything else to do but to read and do work. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit better about May. I haven't exactly really had a look at the prompts for Medieval-a-thon in terms of going back through the TBR that I just filmed, which I filmed. I think by the time this goes up, my May TBR should be up, which is great. If you want to check it out, I'll have it up in the info cards and down below as well for you to check out. I am very frazzled in it though, so it is what it is. It's been a while, and I'll be honest, like, I'm just like, I was stressing so much about my May TBR, not because of anything, but because I feel like that's a structure I can give myself to work with, and because I like dealing with a lot of certainties, and right now I'm just feeling like so frazzled, and right now like things are really making me nervous because I just like was thinking about my future like today, and it stressed me out more than it should have. But this is the year where I have to do things. It's the year I turn 21. I become, by society standards, an adult. I get to sign contracts. I can literally, when I turn 21 this year in September, I can go to the bank and be like, I want to buy a house, and I can legally sign that by myself. I don't need to have someone there to sign it for me as well. And it's scary, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know what to do next year. I don't know if I should study and get an honors program, get into an honors program, or if I should work, because I don't want to sit and study anymore. I want to do something more than go to university, which is something that I've really been struggling with this year. It happened in high school, it's happening now, is that I want to do more, and sometimes I can't do more, and it really frustrates me. And I'm super proud of my CV because of that drive to do more. It's full to full pages, and I have references and I have things, and it's great. It's amazing, and I love past me for doing it, but I'm stressed because of the industry, because I want to go into the book industry, and the coronavirus is definitely impacting that. It's not as much as what I think a lot of people were expecting, but it's such an uncertain time, and I'm freaking out a little bit, I won't lie. But I'm just kind of chilling now. I have a TBR. I just need to quickly take a photo for Instagram. I found that picture on the internet today on Pinterest, and I love it so much. And I've been trying to think about what I want to do for my May theme, and it's that, and it's just basically line drawing.